maybe you could please tell us the story behind this album and how does it resonate with the story in the film. Brian, you could start.
Oh man, let me see. I would say, you know, with me personally, because this, like I said before, because a lot of things were done like very remotely, it's kind of hard for us to kind of like all get together and be like, okay, look, this is what this album is about. And it's more about just kind of like, look, we're making this album for the movie. This is what the story of the movie is. The whole time I didn't watch the entire movie until, you know, it actually came out. I maybe only saw like 1 or 2 scenes, but it was very just like, you know, I didn't know what I was making the songs for. So I just kind of had to imagine like, okay, this is Shang-Chi. This is what it's about. It's the Legend of the Ten Rings. And, you know, it's a first Asian superhero and, you know, it's a big deal. So this is how I'm going to approach it. This is how I kind of picture, this is how I picture the songs would sound like in the scenes and then all this kind of stuff. So I think Sean, our manager, he's been kind of like the mastermind of the whole album as a whole, because I feel like he's been kind of like A&Ring this whole thing, and like he knows very well like what kind of each song, like how it resonates with the story and everything. And you know, I mean, like even honestly, even him, like he didn't really get to see the cut of the movie until like it was about to come out, I don't think. So that's kind of like the big challenge for us, was just kind of guessing where things kind of belong to each other. But you know, the whole time we were doing it, we would show it to the director and then, you know, Marvel and everyone, and they would be like, all right, cool, good job. And you know, that's kind of how I knew I think that's how we knew that, you know, it fit the movie. But yeah, I think thematically, looking back on it and like listening to the whole album now, it actually fits really well, and I'm really glad.
Okay, so it's kind of hard at the process to imagine how it's gonna fit with the film, but after you watch it, it was like fit perfectly. All right.
Yeah.
So, Nikki, how about you? Of your songs, how it's resonate with the movie?
Yeah, I think to piggyback off of what Brian was saying, it was definitely like, obviously we weren't able to see the movie in its entirety until like when it premiered, right? So we got to see it along with the rest of the world, which I thought was really cool. But anyways, I think I mainly just had to use my imagination, and I think I can speak for everybody in that way. We just sort of, at least for me, I definitely just, you know, I heard bits and pieces about Su Xiaoling, who is Shang-Chi's sister, and heard kind of like what her general vibe is like, her personality, what story arc kind of ends up unraveling for her. And so I just kind of put myself into her shoes, you know what I mean? I was like, okay, what would she want to say, or what would she find, you know, what was important to her? What is the message that she's trying to put out into the world, right? Especially as this powerful Asian female character. And so I relate to her in sort of just that Asianness, right? So it's cool to kind of write from the perspective of somebody that isn't yourself, because I think a lot of writing for me is very personal. But this one, I kind of like took off my NIKI hat and put on my Xiaoling hat and was like, okay, what would she want to talk about? You know? That kind of ended up being the most of my songs. Yeah.
Okay. So Warren, anything you want to add about the movie, how it's resonated with your songs? And
I mean, they captured it perfectly again. Yeah, we had to use a lot of our imagination with these songs, but we're thrown like themes to write on, and we just use our own creative direction on the song mostly, and we just write from, you know, our perspective, our culture, and it's always going to resonate with the movie because, you know, we're obviously Asian artists, and we're speaking the point of view of how we grew up, and it always resonates with the song. It fits perfectly, and I'm super happy how it turned out. But yeah, that's all I have to say about it.